Introducing PhotonicWave, a device that synchronizes with human biorhythms to improve hormonal, metabolic, and detoxifying bodily processes, whilst providing protection against electromagnetic radiation, harmonizing artificial EMFs with Earth's natural Schumann waves. With a 360-degree, 50-meter square field of influence, which neutralizes geopathic stress and alleviates electrosensitivity. PhotonicWave restructures water to improve taste and hydration. It enhances immune health, contributes to DNA restoration, helps to increase mental clarity, relieves stress and fatigue, and brings overall peace of mind.
Right, I am back with my lovely friend Kim Kindersley in Bali, and we have got a Christmas treat for you. You've seen a lovely little opening video on this beautiful thing, the Photonic Wave. And when Kim and I'll link our last videos and our playlist on this. When we spoke before, Kim, I was overwhelmed with people that really wanted to take advantage of the last bundle but couldn't in time. It didn't work out with paydays and things like that. So you've been working hard with this wonderful company who are so passionate about getting this protection out to schools, to people across the globe, to communities. And we've got a lovely Christmas bundle that we're going to go through with everyone. So before we launch into the exciting details of that, how are you and how's everything going?
Well, everything is fantastic over here, except that it's been raining for 2 weeks and trees are crashing down and, holes in roads and bridges. And it seems like the weather is wonky everywhere. But apart from that, navigating that, of course, we've been doing the breath work, which you and me have shared before. And, I think it's kind of important, if it's Christmas time, which it is, and it's coming up, the season of goodwill and all of that, to take note that one of the most inspiring things of all is suddenly seeing a group of people who come in. We've had Iranian people from Lebanon, people from Finland, people from Israel, Iran, or India, all of these different nationalities who come in, some already knowing what it is, others not. And it's a very simple thing. Everybody sits as far away as possible from each other on the mats when they arrive, which is quite a human thing, even though they're kind of there to be open. But by the end, they're all in a huddle. And the common theme is, goodness me, we really are in this together. And they're talking about the global situation. It's like, how we talk about this a lot just before we got on today. It's like, how do we shift the mindset? How is this going to work when it just seems so overwhelming? And maybe it's not as simple as that, but at the same time, it definitely makes a difference. So that's where I derive my inspiration to keep going, because it's just so beautiful to see human beings seeking out the common ground, from where we can build something new, and to remind each other that we're not alone, even those who are going through unbelievable suffering and hardship. And somehow or other, we're kind of all trying to share the burden and bring to that as much light as we can. We have to.
Oh, I love the work and you so much, Kim. I really do. And this beautiful community we're in, because the fact of the matter is we are all energy. Everyone watching this, I'm preaching to the converted. We understand frequency, we understand energy, and we understand how that can be manipulated for the good, and we understand how it can be manipulated for the negative. but we're
Mm.
also a community of solution focused. And so we
Yes.
understand that that actually we need to know what the issues are. You know, burying your head in the sand, ignorance is not bliss. When you know what the solutions are or what the problems are, there's these beautiful solutions for it. And we're going to be finishing the video. This is a very quick video today because
Yeah.
all the playlist about what the EMFs do to us, how much we're at risk, how much our children, our animals, wildlife are at risk. But as I said, we did a bundle a few weeks ago and people were so upset that they missed the date. So this wonderful company that are passionate about protecting all the children, protecting the homes, protecting the communities, have doing a Christmas offer. This is never going to happen again at these prices, folks. And whilst Kim's talking, I'm just going to share my screen to show you. So the first bundle, now, this is these amazing, Kim, photonic wave that
That's right. This
protect
one.
the whole house or your whole office or your whole gym or your school. They've got a range of 50 square meters. And don't panic with this price. This is what buying 3 of them would normally cost you. But this Christmas offer, which is just absolutely incredible, for 1 week only, and all the links and the codes will be below in the description box and pinned in the comments. Instead of 3333, you can have all 3 of them for 499, which is a saving of over £2,800. Kim, what do you want to tell everyone about these amazing little machines?
Well, the first thing is that the beautiful man who works tirelessly to make these things happen, he, just in case anyone's wondering out there, well, hang on, how on earth can that happen? Well, it's very similar to the kind of end of season stock take. There are only a few left. And he took the view, look, half of this thing is education. And it's like by having these things out there, having 3 for the price of, or half the price normally that one costs, is obviously a completely unique situation. But there will be other things that are happening next year. And the really important thing, oh, by the way, I wanted to add that even with mine, I love mine so much, I actually take mine on trips. And
Yeah.
when I flew over to Bulgaria, I had mine plugged into my seat. You can take them in the car. They are actually portable. They're very light. And they do all sorts of other things, the geopathic stress, the restructuring of water and so on. But the other thing is that if you're living in an area, smaller area, or you're sharing a house, then this is the most extraordinary opportunity to be able to achieve to get one for a shared community. And I would say the most important thing about it is the fact that people really wake up to the fact that this EMF thing is not a joke.
Yeah.
Every week, that lovely woman, Deborah Davis, Environmental Health Trust. I think it started in 2012 when the professor of Columbia University made an appeal to the United Nations. It's getting worse and worse. And again, we're solutions orientated, so it's okay, don't worry. This technology, and we'll show it at the end, has been certified by science, the Bion Institute, as being protective against or harmonizing for the detrimental effects of 5G. And at the moment, we're sort of hovering between 4G, 5G. But every time you look out of the window, you think, well, hang on, is that a palm tree? Hang on, that's a very odd looking palm tree. And you realize that it's contained there, it's on the top of hills. And you and me have this pet peeve. Oh, I've got a good idea. Let's bang it on the top of a hospital.
Or a
Excuse me,
school.
someone's trying to ring. I think I'll just decline that call. Excuse me. And it's just so important that people realize that then they're bunging them on the top of hospitals where you're supposed to get well, and schools. And we could go on. It's really, really important that it's not just about having the protection and the harmonization. It's also the education, because we will be able to change this over time. Next year, I think we talked about it before, we are trying to work with a big organization, White Feather Foundation, who incidentally yesterday were on the is it called Joe Rogan show?
Yeah.
And, it's like the conversation about this is only going to widen and get deeper. and stronger. And at its core, the wonderful man who does all this work, our dear friend Wes, he really, really, really wants to share this with as many people and families and places as we possibly can. And that's the bottom line, because it
Yeah.
works.
And you can share these with friends. So, you know, this
Yeah.
literally is unbelievable. These are £166 each when the actual RRP is 1,111. And just for people, you know, I've got a whole playlist if you want to educate yourself, and we're going to run through the science at the end and where you can find more information about the science, and also, so importantly, so that you do your own due diligence about the testing. But some of the sensitivities, if people are sensitive to electromagnetic fields, which is an absolutely oxymoron in themselves, because we all are, that you know, our electromagnetic fields are basically life force. But people who've got consistent headaches or migraines, fatigue and low energy, sleep disturbances, brain fog and cognitive issues, heart palpitations or irregular heartbeat, tinnitus with ringing in the ears, dizziness and vertigo, tingling or burning sensations in your skin or limbs, mood swings, anxiety, depression, skin rashes or sensitivity, eye strain, blurry vision, nausea or digestive issues, muscle or joint pain, heightened sensitivity to light or sound. All of these things are linked to the disruption in these electromagnetic, man-made electromagnetic fields, and we've got loads more science behind that. So the other one, which I know is one of your personal favorites, we say this. Let me share, Kim, the other bundle, which is an absolute must for everyone. And again, I cannot believe how good this offer is. So this is 6 of these photonic shields, which we will show you in a minute. And the normal RRP for this is £864. But with this, for 1 week only, while stocks last. Both these offers are only while stocks last. Once they're gone, okay? And instead, you're going to get all of this for 360, which is a saving of £453. So only £60 per card. So you can share these out between families, between communities, between friends. What a perfect Christmas present. Now, Kim, you use these a lot, and they do a lot more than just the EMF harmonization. Talk us through your favorite things about these cards.
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm really into meridian healing, cleansing, breath work and all of this other stuff that sort of clears things out of the body. And one of my favorite things to do when people ask about this is I put one card in their left hand and another card under their right foot, opposite sides, and say, hey, do you feel anything? And they go, whoa, and so you can feel the fact that they hold energy. And there's another version of it, by the way, that, which is slightly smaller, the square. But what I love about these ones is you can put them in your wallet. I just sort of forget about them. Have one beside the bed. Again, fantastic travel one. I love to take the wave, but sometimes it's impractical. So the card goes with me wherever I go. And you can put it on your computer. You can put them on a router. They can be very specific that way. But otherwise, you're really having a protective bubble wherever you go. And of course, for kids, it's like you just put it on the back of their iPad, or God forbid, there's the iPhone, there's the iWatch, I think it's called, and I think they're called iPod. Basically podded up to the gills, and imagining that, wow, that's all cool. But then you've got EMFs, you've got the general EMFs, you've got the Bluetooth thing right at the brain level. And again, I don't want to scare people. It's not about that. It's about just calmly having the awareness that these things affect biologically the cells, and there is a solution. And so for me, this is a really affordable version of this technology. And of course, I think we've shared it before together, but I know that what we thought would be a great idea, because everybody always says, well, hang on, how do you know they're efficacious? How do you actually prove it. So what's really amazing, our lovely friend Caroline Mansfield, who's a naturopath, she did extensive studies using live blood analysis. And all the videos, by the way, are available for all the different types of thing, like the routers and so on. But what I thought would be great at the end is that we can show that the Bion Institute have actually certified this. This is the same technology that are in, of course, the bigger version that we talked about earlier, and this one, and also the square. And I think what I love about what Caroline's done is that she's done the live blood analysis so that you can see the picture of your blood, hopefully healthy, when you walk into her lab or her where she does all of these testings, and you can see that your blood cells are fairly round and hopefully healthy looking. But the moment that you pick up the technology, or you put a phone to your ear or whatever it is, or close to your body, almost immediately the blood agglutinates and clumps together, and it's really rather like it's rather like that reaction of contraction. And that agglutination is like the blood trying to protect itself. And on a cellular level, that's a great analogy for all the other biological systems in the body. And apart from anything else, then you're not getting your nutrients and enough oxygen. It's affecting microcirculation. Now, the moment that you then pick up the square, or in this case, the cards, or put the wave on, immediately the blood relaxes, your system relaxes. And if anything, the blood looks even better after you've got the
Yeah,
technology on your person. So at the end, we'll it's not going to be the whole thing, but we'll definitely show you a little excerpt of what that is, so you can visually see the two things. You can see the Bion Institute certification for 5G, and then after that, you can see a little bit of the live blood analysis, which will show you that this stuff has an effect. It's not us imagining it, and it's very important, I think, for people to realize that this, number one, affects your cellular system, and number two, we have a solution here, and you should avail yourself of it, because of the Christmas goodwill of the dear Wes and Biophotonic. But it certainly won't be at these kind of levels, I wouldn't imagine, ever again. And I know that, by the way, it's evolving next year into different versions and other things, but I don't think any of that will be ready till February, March. So I think it's important for people to grab hold of this now if they can.
absolutely. And I've got lots of my lovely people that I work with that are all as passionate about animals as ours. The cards and the wave, they'll restructure water, they'll re-energize your food and supplements, so you can take them with you and put your food on it, put your supplements on it. A lot of them have got them under the animals' water bowls, which are just absolutely fantastic. Obviously, don't let them get wet. They're all right, they get wet, but you look after it, it's valuable. But these things are actually, it's like your little mini protective system, your little angel that you're bringing with you. And what I love about it is everything that the dark side has to try and mess us up, the light side has got solutions for. So I really want everyone, it's only while stocks last, club together with friends, look in your communities. We spoke before about how when you've got one of these waves, if you live in a block of flats, you're not only protecting yourself, but everyone above, below, each side, as above, so below. So talk about passing it forward. And Kim, we're going to play out with some lovely confirmations. When you go onto the site, do your due diligence. We never want you to take
Yes.
our word for it. You'll see the research tabs, you'll see the science tabs, and there's so much stuff you
Yes.
can look through there. The live blood analysis is amazing. Caroline Mansfield is the most wonderful
Yes.
naturopath and live blood analysis expert, one of the first ones that's been doing it for years. So her work's there, completely independent. You can, really trust it. And take her offer, look at the links below. Please do stay and watch the science sections afterwards, because you really need to know this. It really sort of makes it all real for us all. Any final words from you, Kim?
Well, I was just thinking, yeah, because I got so carried away on the fact that it clears meridians in the body. I forgot to mention about the restructuring of water, the supplements, the food, but all of that is pretty incredible. These things hold these frequencies so well. They're very, very solid. And yeah, I think it would be really cool to hear from the first group who managed to get this into a school, any
Yeah,
school, a kindergarten, you know, 10 parents coming together for whatever it is, £50. Or what about,
yeah.
20, for £25 each, and then to let us know that their school is protected. And we could really, really start something here.
Well,
I think that would be,
160 for the wave. Sorry to interrupt, Kim, but I couldn't believe it when we got told that they were going to do this, because I got a lot of complaints for people that had missed out on the first offer. So I was so
yeah,
happy thank you so much, Photonic, for doing this. For these waves, 166 each. So if you get 10 of you together, £16.60 each, you can protect everyone in the school, everyone in the gym, everyone in your office, everyone in your block of, well, 50-meter radius of
yes.
block of flats. So it depends how big the block is. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I love it. I mentioned last time, Kim, it's protecting all the wildlife in my garden, so pass it forward, folks, pass it forward. And please do let us know. Please, please let us know.
Yeah, and let's start a wave. It's the beginning of the frequency wave of love. We've got to do it. And I loved what you said about the animals. I was with someone the other day, and you were talking about this very subject, and this beautiful dog came in. Guess where the dog sat?
Mm,
Right by the wave. And I went, you know what? We should be calling this the chill out wave, because the dog is like, normally he can be quite overexcitable, but whenever he comes in here, it's like, oh, just so chilled. So
love
look, let's hear from lots of people that they've got it into schools. Let's get the education going, and let's make all of this happen. Have a fantastic Christmas, and we'll leave you with the science. And Catherine, as always, beautiful to see you. And let's do some amazing things next year.
We will be. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.
British naturopath Caroline Mansfield has tested the technology contained in the photonic cards and waves in multiple different scenarios and found in every case without fail that the technology proved its beneficial harmonizing effects within the parameters of live blood analysis.
With live blood analysis, what we do is we take a pinprick of blood,
Right.
and it's a fresh blood sample from the periphery, the end of a finger, and we put that onto a slide. And we're able to observe the blood, because there's a distinct different picture between healthy blood sample and a blood sample that's compromised, through EMFs, through diet, through lifestyle, etc., through nutritional deficiencies. But with the tests that I did with Photonic, I had the client come and we had a room orientation phase where they'd sit for an hour in a room without any EMFs at all, no devices around, just to get that blood settled so we can get a really good baseline as to how the blood is without having any interference. And then what I did was we took a pinprick of blood, and then I asked the client to go onto one of the devices that we were testing just for 20 minutes. And then we'd do a second pinprick of blood to see how the blood's affected by the device.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third test with the test subject would be for the client to go back onto the device, but with one of the photonic protection cards for 20 minutes, and then retesting the blood. So that was the structure of the testing. So the first blood sample for the baseline for this particular test subject, she had really good blood. And when I say really good blood, when we're looking at blood, all these bubbles you can see, those are your red blood cells. We want them to be lovely and round, roughly the same shape and size. And we don't want them to be attracted to each other at all. We want them to be able to flow, because red blood cells are about 7 to 8 microns in diameter, and a microcapillary is about 3 to 4. So in some places in the body, the blood has to go in one by one, and sometimes has to squeeze, has to be very pliable. Hence the reason for that outside of the red blood cell also to have a really healthy cell membrane to not only for that reason, but also to hold the charge. So when we were looking at the blood, this is just a lovely example of blood. Her blood was flowing. We can show you some videos as well. And red blood cells, their job is to deliver oxygen and nutrients and to take away waste products. And this is the basis of our health. If our blood isn't flowing, we all know the problems that can cause. So then I asked her to go on her phone for 20 minutes. And I asked her to put the phone up to her ear as well, so we get a good, contact of EMFs affecting the body. And after 20 minutes, Kim, you would not believe.
Goodness. Yeah, and I've seen these kinds of images before. I actually did my own blood at one point. It's just mind-blowing what happens. And it's almost instant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The effect.
Yeah, it's, after 20 minutes. Now, if a client came to see me and their blood was like this, I mean, I would be looking at medications they're on, what they're eating with their diet, if they are dehydrated. All these things can affect the blood, because the blood is the tissue that, we can see that reacts to our environment and to our food. You've got this constant challenge going on. And don't forget, in the gyms, we've got the routers, the Wi-Fi.
Oh my God. But I mean, what's so astounding about it? It's not just a little bit different. It's massively different. And I even though I've seen these sorts of images before, it's still to me incredibly shocking.
It is. I mean, I was just absolutely astounded, and I kept thinking, okay, the next test I do, we're gonna catch it out. We're not going to see the same picture. But every single time, on all of these devices, and in fact, just even sitting in front of the router, a lot of clients, they have their router underneath their television at home or sitting next to them in the office. And that's why I think a lot of people start to get agitated. They can't think with their work. They're getting headaches. And it's not just the fact that you're staring at a computer and sitting still. You've got these EMFs affecting the way your blood is flowing and delivering oxygen. So the next part of the test was I asked the client to go back on her phone, but this time to use the Photonic card.
So anyway, then you do the test with the technology, with the Photonic.
With the Photonic there, 20 minutes again, and then we take a look at the blood. And let me just quickly show you. You can see now with the protection, the blood is no longer affected by the EMFs. It just doesn't touch the sides. We're going back to normal blood flow. Now it's just so amazing to see how these little devices protect our whole biofield, because we know we are electrical beings.
So, and you can see it in the images so clearly, can't you?
Yeah, I think what it does is it smooths out the biofield.
So smoothing out the biofield, that is such a beautiful expression. I love that.
In all of Caroline Mansfield's studies, every device tested displayed the same efficacy without fail.
The Bion Institute is an independent research institution focused on observing and exploring the physical effects of ultra-weak emissions and electromagnetic radiation, which can't be detected by conventional testing methods. Through years of research, they have perfected various practices for detecting the influence of such emissions, using the human organism and water as a medium through which effects can be observed through objectively measurable changes. Certification is issued where a statistically significant impact can be proven, thus guaranteeing the reliability and scientifically verified quality of products and services. Testing the effect of the product Photonic Shield on the human organism when exposed to 5G microwave radiation validates the assumed protective influence. It is substantiated by A. High overall statistical differences between the two testing situations. B. The overall similarity of differences between the control situation and the shielded situation against the unshielded situation. This is persuasively demonstrated by 4 of the 5 testing parameters. Given the significance of their findings, the Bion Institute issued a certificate of 5G protection for the Photonic Shield and published the results for peer review on ResearchGate, where it is available to view. Meet the Photonic Shield, a bioresonant harmonizer that offers full body protection from super high frequency EMF fields, transforming background radiation into frequencies that benefit the body. Its multi-layered structure is made up of metal alloys and dielectric materials which form three-dimensional photonic crystals. These nanocrystals utilize right-handed circular polarization, which has the effect of strengthening the body's systems, improves quality of food and water, neutralizes geopathic stress, and creates mental clarity. The shield can be worn on the body. The square is designed to be mounted on devices which are a source of wireless radiation.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. And above all, stay curious and stay free.